Remember? What does it say? Adam Rishon. God said, "Lo tov heosa Adam levado es elo ezer kenegdo." Right? And what is the next thing it says? God put man to sleep and took out his rib. Right? No, it doesn't say that. There's an interlude. It then says God made all the animals, and He brought the animals to man, and He gave them all names. But God He didn't find ezer kenegdo, and then God put him to sleep. And Farshim say, he first had to understand that the animals weren't like it, but God said it says God made the animals at that point instead of just making the woman. First, God made all the animals, and then brought, and then, well, fine. Of all these creations, none of them were an Ezer Kenegdo, but he still didn't have an Ezer Kenegdo before that, and there were no animals. And he brought them also to the Garden. It says he brought them to the Garden of Eden. Apparently, the Garden of Eden was cordoned off. First, he brought man there. That was his deal. It says, Vaikach Adam. Man was created in Jerusalem and brought to Garden of Eden. So he brought all the animals. So what's the point of this interlude with the animals? And it's very simple. When you're in yeshiva or stuck in the army in some barracks somewhere or a tent, you're living basically in a zoo. Okay, it's like there's some guys, especially if you're the type of person who's neat. I know. I lived with my parents most of my life, but then I was living sort of in an apartment, given to us by the yeshiva. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rabbi Shmulevitz. But I sometimes had roommates who were nice guys, but they were the schlubs. I had one roommate who was super super neat. Oh my god, he came from another culture. But American guys, it's just like it was hard, and they touch your stuff and everything like that, and they smell, So it was kind of bad. I had a few roommates. So one of the lessons that you get from this is that you could only truly appreciate that it's time for marriage once you realize your mom is living in a zoo. Like all your roommates are a bunch of behemoths. And then when you get to that point, you know when you're ready to get married. Okay, so that's what other Mauritian had to go through. Okay, that's why you greatly appreciate having a better roommate, just one, and it's much more pleasant having her around than a bunch of behemoths.
Yeah, but then one
Well,
becomes two, and then three, and four, and then you live in
yeah,
a
but
zoo.
they're your own. It's like saying, it's different. If you had to live in a house with like, chickens and cows, like on the farm, so that'd be terrible. But if you got yourself a puppy, right, or a kitten, you'd appreciate that. Call the homer if it's your own.
Yeah, if it's not mine, I don't appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
call
know.
it my
You're having another guy's baby around, waking you up in the middle of the night. That's not yours, and you have to change the diapers. You wouldn't want it. Okay, that's why adoption is such an amazing thing. Taking or helping orphans is an important thing. But when God gives you your own child, it's the cutest thing in the world. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it'll wake you up and all these things, and it doesn't stop crying, and you'd be surprised that you could change a diaper 3 times a day. Like, right? That happens,
Yes.
and it leaks and everything. It's just it's the most surprising thing. But that's how you were made to be, and you appreciate it.
But,
Okay? Your own mess is much better. And you'll even see this one. Your own child will make the worst messes in the world. Okay, like I never had the types of things I had to clean up from the kids is nothing any roommate ever did. You know, it's going to happen to you, Josh. Just watch. When I'm recording here, I'll tell you the worst things my kids have done, and they've all done like terrible, terrible things. The type of things that I would never have my wife clean up, for example, because it's not right. Okay, you should be a man and clean up the really big messes yourself. Well, who the kids? You can't tell a 2-year-old to clean it up. There are certain things you can't. You're going to see it, just to know.